What were they thinking? I honestly have no explanation for what is going on over at Lego, because this is quite possibly the most atrocious price gouging that I have seen from Lego since I have been a fan. If you guys know me, you know that my favorite themes for Lego is definitely Batman / DC and Marvel. And today we're going to be talking on the Marvel side of things. Lego has revealed their quote-unquote lineup for the Marvels movie, where they will be releasing a Lego set titled the Hoopty. Which, hey, initially, if I show you this picture, you might say, hey, that's a pretty decent looking set. You know, it's not horrible, it's not incredible, but it's pretty cool looking. You got 3 minifigs included, kind of the 3 main protagonists of the film in Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, and Photon. But then let's zoom out and let's talk about the price. So this set is $90 in the US and it is $120 in Canada. And what were they thinking? I mean, 420 pieces, $120? That is insane. I don't understand who over there at Lego was like, yeah, that's a great price point. We should definitely go on ahead and do that. And like, I don't want to hear the argument. I've heard some people say, well, this is the first all-female superhero team movie. Why would you not support the set? Because the price point doesn't make any sense. If Lego really truly cared about trying to make this a success from just like, hey, an accessibility standpoint, they would have offered a much more reasonable price point that would make this accessible to anyone that would be interested in buying it. They would have offered another set or maybe a couple more sets that would be at a lower price point to make this much more reasonable and accommodative to all their fans. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that the ship is bad looking. I think it's okay looking. I think some of the people that are giving it credit for this like revolutionary looking design, I don't know what they're talking about, because if you look at something like the Avengers Quinjet, it's actually kind of a similar design to the Quinjet. If we chopped off the wings from the Quinjet, you pretty much have this thing. I mean, it's really not that unique looking, at least in my personal opinion. And the minifigs are also kind of underwhelming. Like, to me, the best looking minifig is by far Ms. Marvel. It's the only minifig in this particular set that feels like it warrants the price point that they're charging. You have the print work on the legs, you have the gold printing on the torso. It looks great. Whereas Photon and Captain Marvel don't get any print work on the arms, don't get any print work on the legs, and they come off as just like your typical cheap release. And yes, I know some people are going to say, well, what do you expect, Blitz? Lego is a very high-end product. But this is way more than a high-end product. This just feels like something went wrong in the production of this set. Like, it just feels like either they made very few of these sets to the point where they literally just expect no one to be buying these things. So ahead of time, they were like, hey, we're only going to make a handful of these. So because of that, we're going to charge way more than what we usually would charge for a set, because we expect that we're not going to be able to sell as many of these. And then there's going to be people who immediately jump up and say, well, what about inflation? Inflation is happening. How about that? Well, let's look at the Avengers Quinjet. I just brought it up a second ago. This set released on January 1st, 2023. Not a decade ago, not 15 years ago, literally 10 months before the Hoopty will be releasing. And the Avengers Quinjet gives us 795 pieces, which is almost double as many pieces as what we get with the Hoopty. And it costs $10 more. I'm not even bringing up the fact that the Avengers Quinjet also comes with 5 minifigs versus the only 3 minifigs that are included in the Hoopty. But again, even if we're not focusing on the minifigure value, we're talking about just piece count. How do you explain that? It doesn't make any sense. And the Quinjet came along with that flight stand, which makes it at least feel like more of a premium quote-unquote product, which is something that is completely omitted on the Hoopty. So maybe Lego is just expecting this thing to do terribly, and because of that, they're making very few of these sets, and because of the concept of economies of scale, they are unable to price it at a lower price point. But to me, at that point, just don't release the set, because if it has to be this expensive, I really genuinely am going to be shocked to see anyone paying full retail for this. Like, you have to be the single biggest Marvels fan on planet Earth to warrant this price point. And so this just sucks, because this continues this kind of trend of a lot of the Lego sets based on the MCU projects being very disappointing as of late, and this one is no different. Again, I'm someone that always gives Lego credit with things like, for example, the Spider-Man Final Battle set that's coming out on August 1st. looks phenomenal. I praise it. I said before and I'll say it again. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful release from LEGO. I think that they do get things right. Like the Daily Bugle is an all-time great set. But I also have to be fair and call a spade. And in this case, I just think that the Hoopty is an absolute travesty as far as the price point is concerned, and the fact that LEGO thinks that this is something that we as the fans and the consumers will actually accept. Again, I don't know, maybe I'm overreacting to this, but let me know what you guys think of the Hoopty. If you guys think that this is a fair value, or if you think that this is just the reality of quote-unquote high-end collectibles, I just personally disagree with that. I think that the price on LEGO has steadily been going up, and I think in some cases it is warranted. It makes sense because of inflationary forces, but I think that this is definitely not an example of that. Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll hopefully catch you guys here on the next one.